Back again, and Becky's not here. And today we have, welcome to Death of Funny Business. It's a Tuesday, it's 5 o'clock, and we're back in the studio with Tanya, who's back from last week's episode.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes!
I didn't sing.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I can't
You
sing.
did a little whoop.
Yeah.
You don't have to sing.
All right.
It's just, it's a free for all. If you want to sing, you can sing.
I
you
love
can do a
it
little
when
dance.
you and Becky do that.
Well, our little ding 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 ding. Yeah. Oh, I miss her. When's she coming back already? Next week. There we go. She'll be back from her vacation in Sweden. I'm going to do a Swedish accent again. God damn it. No, we're not going to do that. We're moving on. Anyway, welcome to Death Funny Business. It's 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. And today we have a very exciting guest, Dr. Chloe Mitchell, who's going to be in the studio with us. She is a psychologist who specializes in trauma, loss and grief, and especially she uses a body-based trauma-informed approach. So she looks at chronic pain, and I'm very interested in that because I got a lot of that going on. So that's going to be an interesting one for me because I'd like to learn more about physical effects of grief on the body and how that kind of manifests. Because I think we talk a lot about the emotional side of everything. But yeah, physicality is something that I think is really important, and like it really does make a difference. And yeah, how are you today, Tanya?
Oh, well, I am connecting into my body right now.
Yes.
Because I think it's really important for us to acknowledge where we are at any point, whether it's in our grief, whether it's in life and everything that it throws at us. And I'm in a very curious day today.
Yes.
Because it's our daughter Ngākau Raiona's second birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to her. I've done a lot of singing.
Baba. I'm glad.
Yes, done a lot.
How are you feeling?
I am feeling a little bit griefy.
Of course.
A little bit joyful.
A little bit joyful.
A lot excited to be here.
But hey, isn't this a beautiful space that we can talk about her and we can talk about you and your journey and we get to talk to someone who knows about grief today. Knows about grief. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's got the science grounding.
She's a real clever one, this one. She's like, oh, God, I did it again. A proper doctor. See, once more, I need to keep my hands in the box. I'm just going to sit on them. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm sitting on my hands, everybody.
I feel like we've gone back to school.
We really have. Yeah, it's just the classic fidgeter who can't sit still. So we're feeling a little bit griefy.
Yes.
But we're feeling joyful.
Yeah. And I think that's the multiplicity that can come in these moments.
Absolutely.
There is so much that comes up. And I think for people when they speak to me as a bereaved mother, I think there's an assumption that it's all horror, it's all doom and gloom, it's all sadness. But actually there's a huge amount of pride. Yeah. There's a lot of pride in her, pride in me and my husband and the journey and her stillbirth and everything. So today's just been a day of meeting myself where I am, honouring that, went out in the woods.
Yes, did you do any, we talked a lot about traditions and we talked a lot about rituals last week. Have you done any rituals today? Did you do any of your little fun woodland things?
I have been ritualing.
Oh, good.
So yesterday we went to visit her at her woodland burial site.
Beautiful.
And which is just so beautiful. She's in the butterfly garden with other little babies.
Okay, now I'm
gorgeous.
already crying. God damn it. No, I like it when things are like, she's in the butterfly garden. I just think, oh, that's so nice. She's with the fairies, you know?
She
sorry,
is with
on.
the fairies.
Yeah,
with
she totally is with the
little fairies and the gnomes.
Oh, what a dream.
What a dream. So we did that yesterday, and then today my husband was playing golf.
Okay,
as
very
you do.
Nice.
That's how he's celebrating.
Yeah. He's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit some balls across a field.
It's what she would have wanted.
Yes, it's what she wants.
So I've been knocking about home, but I've been doing a lot of singing. I feel like a kid, you know, when you're a kid. And for me, it was Grease. I would watch Grease over and over again and sing it all the time. So I've been singing, not Grease to her, but we have one song that I sung to her through pregnancy and then beyond. Beautiful. So I've been singing that all day to her.
Love.
On repeat. So thank goodness my husband wasn't home.
That's why we actually sent him away. That's why you sent him away. You were like, I'm going to sing this song like over and over again. So I actually need you to leave.
Exactly this. This
otherwise, is your plan.
Otherwise you might divorce me.
And that would not be her plan. This is not what she wanted. She's like, no. She's like, I didn't.
So yeah, lots of little rituals all day. But
okay, beautiful.
But how are you, Tash?
How am I? Oh my goodness, I am. Oh my goodness. I have a bit of stress today. There's a lot going on, and I feel myself on the edge of a slight burny outy phase. But I think just because there's just been a lot of things going on, and it's not necessarily bad things. It's just lots of good things, but it's just a lot of like people needing things from me, which I completely appreciate, and it happens. But yeah, sometimes, when it's like, ooh, here's the sandwich, and we're just kind of getting on top of each other. So yeah, feeling a little stressed, but also, yeah, super grateful to be here, and I'm excited to go home and have a little nap later, just get in my cozies and rest my eyes. But I'm also like always really excited to be at the show because I love everybody here and I love talking to people. And yeah, I think, but yeah, also very, very excited. Oh my God, for the future. See, I need to sit back on my hands. Already happened. I'm already doing it.
Oh no.
I can't help it. But yeah, what's been going on with me? I don't know. The weather's a bit rank, but I bought a new raincoat yesterday.
Oh.
It's gingham and it's pink. And it was £10 from a charity shop. And it fits me like a glove. And I've been telling everyone about it. And I'm very thrilled. I love a bit of dopamine dressing.
Yes.
And yeah, I was literally like, I saw it and I made a vow to myself a while ago. I was like, no more gingham. Not allowed any more gingham. I just really like gingham. And this is fascinating for those at home. But I saw it and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, put it on and I was like, God damn it, you're coming home with me.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, it's so meant to be. But I made a chocolate cake last night.
Oh.
Just literally, just like a box cake, which I never do.
Wow.
I never do that. But it was delicious. I'm very proud of it. It made a lot of cake. I brought some for my friends today at work. Again, fluffy, soft. Sometimes just the delights. It's the small things. It's the small things.
Oh.
But yeah, grief-wise, we're talking to Chloe about chronic pain today and pain in general, and I've been going through some of my own journey with chronic pain and diagnosis and feeling kind of a bit let down by the NHS because bless them, they are overworked and underpaid. But yeah, I think these are the moments definitely where I miss mum the most because it's like, oh God, when you're tired and when you're in pain and when you need affection, I feel like, mum's often that person that you kind of go to for that. So it's one of those things where I feel like, but my dad has actually been super duper helpful recently, which is really nice of him. And he's been helping me with my health stuff and what have you. And, yeah, it's just a weird one. You kind of it's that primal thing of just wanting your mum.
Yeah, there's no one like mum, isn't it? And that's a difficult thing because when I've spoken to people, whether it's on my podcast or just in the grief space, there can't be that replacement either.
Yeah, really isn't. And I think that it's such a weird, and I've talked about this before, but there's such a weird, we can talk about this, I suppose, because there's a connection of like having a shrine for a person that you don't know, but you miss so greatly. And it's such a weird oxymoron of like complicated feelings because you're like, I don't know you, but my heart is like broken for you.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like this, I genuinely think it's like that crocodile brain thing where it's just like, it's just the deepest instincts of our soul.
Yes.
Is to like need those people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think as well, the weather, it really does make a difference to people's. I can already tell the train this morning at 7:30 was quiet. It was like silent, and I was going to call my sister on the train, but I was like, it's so quiet, I can't even call her. But because when it was sunny, people are so. The moment it gets it was a bit rainy. And people were in their coats, and it was like, oh,
don't talk to me.
Don't do it. The pumpkin spice has been released in the air. And people are talking about Christmas and like all kinds of things. And oy vey, anyway.
Oh, yeah, I can really, it's funny, you take me back to a memory from school. I remember getting the train to school, and we always said I don't think there was a time of year when we were quiet.
Really?
All of us kids just being really loud. And I remember a few times there would be a commuter who'd just get up and be like, would you shut up? And as an adult, I can really empathise with that.
I've become such an old lady.
Yeah.
100%. I'm literally like, excuse me, why do you think it's okay to play things out loud? I saw this thing online, though, as a really good one for like people playing things out loud on their phone.
Yeah.
You just get really close to them and you go, can I watch with you? And they go, no. And they go, no, really, like, what are you watching? Like, can I watch it with you? And it's so unnerving and creepy that they're like, no, sorry, no, it's okay. I'm going to put it away.
I love that.
And then they just stop and you're like, no, seriously. And yeah, I think that is always the way. I'm very much a big believer of creeping people out.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Especially men. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. There are nice ones out there. Yay! Welcome back to Death of Funny Business. It's Tuesday, it's 5:15, and we have Dr. Chloe Mitchell in the studio. How are you doing?
Hey.
Oh, I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Have you come from far?
No. Luckily, I was working in Liverpool Street today, so it was
that's
dead
where
easy.
I work.
Really?
Okay, I shouldn't. Oh shit, I've told them now. Everybody knows. You have to edit this out later. It doesn't matter. It's kind of where I work. Somewhere close. Not really there. Anyway.
No, it's brilliant. Really happy
yeah.
to be here.
Oh no, we're so glad.
We're
Thank you
so
so
excited.
much. Yes, very interested to talk to you today. Would you like to tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're a doctor of, and
Yes.
what your grief journey or experience or practice is?
Yeah. So, who I am? I'm Chloe. I'm
Hello,
a mum.
Chloe.
I am a daughter, a sister, a wife. Those are kind of the big things in my life,
Yes.
and I'm also a psychologist. And I have been in this world for pretty much my whole adult life.
Okay.
I specialise in grief, trauma, loss, but I look at grief not just as a kind of, loss through bereavement, but all sorts of invisible losses, like losing your health, which is something that I'm having to deal with, which I know a lot of women, a lot of people to live with. Losing your identity, maybe going through a divorce, becoming estranged, all sorts of different experiences of loss that I think are kind of an inevitable part of life, sadly. And I do that a lot, and I do it really with kind of dedication and commitment. I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Do you enjoy your work?
I do. I do. Yeah, I do. Do you?
Do I?
Yeah.
I enjoy this work.
Yeah.
I enjoy because I'm an actor normally.
Are you?
Yes.
All right, okay.
So
I didn't know
I
that.
do this, but I also do some acting. I also work at a shop that shall not be named now because everybody knows where I work.
For security.
Everybody knows where I work. Yeah, I think as an actor you have a lot of jobs, so you juggle a lot. But yeah, I do enjoy my creative jobs, which is fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do enjoy my muggle jobs as well, but
Jobs.
it's not about me.
Hey.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. I'd love to talk to you a little bit about how you talk about grief manifesting in the body and how we live with grief in a very physical way. I think we were talking earlier about how we talk a lot about the emotional and we talk a lot about how we're feeling, but not necessarily how we physically are in the moment. So I wondered if you could talk a bit about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think it's a really important part because when we have to live with the absence of what once was, the body really is the first responder. And I don't know if you felt this, but I certainly have. Before your mind can catch up with the difficult reality, and before you kind of can put words to what your heart's feeling and the heartbreak, your body goes through a kind of visceral, real kind of deep response. And I'm really passionate about normalizing that and helping people understand that that's not them cracking up, that's not them doing something wrong, that's not their body letting them down, that's actually the body responding, because we're mind, body, spirit, soul. We're a whole being, aren't we? So I think it's brilliant to emphasize the emotional journey of loss, but for me a big part of it is also recovering physically. And I could say a lot about that, but I really see it. And often, I don't know if you experience this in your work, but a lot of people will come to therapy after having kind of dealt quite well with the initial phases of grief and end up feeling that there's something really seriously wrong with how they're feeling in their body.
Well, this is very interesting for me. So I've done a lot of therapy. My mum died when I was 7, and I've had other things that have happened in my life. Took myself to therapy. Brain-wise, I felt really good. And I remember saying to my therapist, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. But what I said to her was, I feel like I've worked on my brain and my brain kind of feels lighter. But my body is now reacting, and I feel like I need to go. And I remember looking at somatic work and thinking, I kept on saying to my therapist, I need something to come out of me. I need this I need this experience of expulsion. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about somatic healing or work and how that's informed you.
It's so interesting to me because I started as an existential therapist, which is very much in the mind.
Which is what my therapist is. She's an existential therapist,
And I love existential therapy. I think it's really powerful. It really helps us process the kind of the human condition and what's meaningful and what's authentic, and that's great. So I've come to this kind of more somatic work in a roundabout way. And what we now know from neuroscience is that when we experience the reality of loss, the brain responds by, and there's more than 100 neurotransmitters in our nervous system, and they become dysregulated, right? So our normal kind of state of equilibrium, where the world makes sense, is exactly as I predict it to be, and everyone is where I expect them to be, and I know what today's going to be. It's just going to be a normal day. I'm going to find my life as I expect to find it, right? And sometimes, sadly, that's not the case. So when suddenly the scaffold of our reality is no longer the jigsaw that we've pieced together, our brain goes into panic mode, and suddenly our dopamine production isn't what it usually is. Our serotonin production isn't what it usually is. Our stress hormones are suddenly peak, and they become quite kind of flooding of our system. So the body feels very, very different when we go through grief, whether that's a grief that we've kind of had time to prepare for, or whether it's a sudden grief. And there are lots and lots and lots and lots of symptoms when that happens. I don't know, would it be helpful to reel some of them off?
I actually would love that. I'm very interested in what those symptoms look like, because I think often what I read online briefly when I see things, people, it's things that you don't always expect that are manifestations. Please.
Happy to share some of these, and they can happen. You could get like one of these symptoms, you could get 2 or 3 of them, or you could get all of them. And you could get all of them in a really kind of overwhelming way, or you might get them trickling through. There's kind of no predicting it. There's no rhyme or reason. And I think okay, let's go through them. I'll try and remember as many of them because there's loads. But let's start with the when you're flooded with all these neurotransmitters and you're physically in grief, you might find that you've got a tight kind of constricted in your chest. You might find that you're shallow breathing, or you can't take sort of your normal breath. You might find that you've got a pit, empty stomach sort of feeling. You might feel sick. You might be sick. You might find that you can't digest your food. You might find that you're really bloated. You might find that you have digestion issues of all kind, so you're always on the loo. You might find that you are really dizzy, noise intolerant, light intolerant.
Wow.
You might find that what you would do normally to relax, to let some tension out, you cannot do. So no longer can you sit in a bath with a candle and a magazine, or sit and watch your Netflix show. You just can't sit. You can't. You're like in a state of being wired and really tired. Of course, your sleep could be really disrupted because where you're in the same part of your brain where you're producing your stress hormones is also exactly the same part of the brain that produces your sleep hormone, your melatonin. So if you're producing loads of one, you're not going to be producing the other.
I did not know that. That makes a lot of sense.
That makes so much
sense.
The
weather weather plays a part
We
in
were just-
it.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying, people. It's all about the
So
weather.
if you're feeling griefy
Yeah.
this week,
The weather will
why.
affect that rhythm of kind of
Yeah.
how much stress hormones you produce and how much melatonin you produce anyway, and your
Wow.
energy levels will be impacted. But for some people, they might just crash into sleeping and find comfort in that they're disappearing into their sleep.
Yeah.
But it's nightmarish and it's horrible, and they wake up with that horrible, you know,
Yeah.
that sort of sick, you know,
Yeah,
that feeling.
that's
You wake
me.
up and you
Yeah.
suddenly remember what reality
Yeah.
you're in.
Yeah.
That was
And-
literally my morning this morning. I woke up and
That's
I went, and then I go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
hard.
like-
That's really tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's tricky.
Yeah, I could go on with the symptoms. Shall I just keep going?
Why
Have I
don't we
said
do
enough?
a couple more and then we'll talk about
Yeah.
how
I want to
we
say one more
treat
because I
them, or-
think
yeah.
it's quite important. Is that wanting the world to become a very small place
Oh, yeah.
and
hiding away.
hiding
Yes.
away, maybe retreating from what you would normally do, your social networks, maybe retreating from your partners.
Brings a lot
And
of
for
loneliness.
some people, it can go the other way. And I'll shut up in a minute.
You
Like
absolutely don't have
becoming
to.
crazy with your spending, becoming really hedonistic,
Yeah.
or becoming really promiscuous. Now, I have no judgment on it, but for some people, it might
Yeah.
be sort of out of
Oh,
character.
100%. Sometimes you've just got to, feel the weight of a human on top of you.
But the symptoms are so many, and all of them
Wow.
are completely understandable, and the body's reaction
Yeah.
to having to adapt to an unpredictable world.
Yeah, that
And-
makes so much sense.
Does it?
Yeah, even for me last night, so today is my daughter's second birthday.
Is it?
Yeah, so she was still born 2 years ago today, so it's very
Oh.
meaningful to be here.
Very
But last night
important.
I actually woke up, it was 1:30 a.m, which is the time when my waters broke. So I just naturally
Your
woke up,
body
which happened
knew.
last year, body knew.
Nobody knows.
And then I woke up around 4:30, which was just after she was born. And just with that real feeling. Yeah.
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 Muscle memory is real, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
so real.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder,
definitely.
on that note then, let's talk about held trauma and how do we start to unpack that, and maybe even, so because I think sometimes it can be beautiful in a way, and it can kind of remind us about things like you were saying, Tanya, but I think also sometimes it can be overwhelming. Like, I know for me, I know that some of my habits that I have, especially thinking about cortisol and thinking about stress hormones and stuff like that, I definitely find myself repeating patterns of stress that I don't necessarily feel like I'm engaging with on the daily. I'm not like, I'm not that. I'm good today. I had a shower, I've eaten, I drank lots of water. I'm good, but something like the repetitive nature of chronic stress, I think is, I think it's interesting to maybe unpack how we start dealing with that.
Gosh. And so I've written a lot about that in my book, but
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm always mindful of is there's no clear recipe that's going to work
Sure.
for absolutely everybody, because there are so many different factors that shape
sure.
how our
Yeah.
bodies cope with grief and what we do with stress. So one of the simplest tools that I think I do an awful lot with all my clients in my work and in my workshops is starting to engage, and I really mean engage in a full way, in an embodied way or in an emotive way, with what the idea of safety looks like for you.
Wow.
So regulating your breath, anchoring yourself in a ritual that gives you comfort, and visualizing a symbolic safe space.
Oh,
for
So
you,
powerful.
whatever that is.
Oh, Chloe. You
Yeah.
know what's crazy? I used to do that as a kid.
I love that.
So I
you
used-
see, so wise.
Like honestly, like as a kid, I used to get like super duper upset, and then I'd get in bed, and we used to go to this place. This sounds a bit wanky, but I used to go to this place in the Caribbean because we had family over there, and like on holidays and stuff. And I used to just like crawl into bed and be like, and then be like crying, whatever, and then be like, it's fine. And I just remember being in this place and being in the back of the garden that was there, and then like hearing the wind very specifically. And then now as an adult, and there's a water fountain, there's like not a water fountain, but a little fountain thing. And as an adult, I listen to rain music to go to sleep. And I think that's like super, it's almost like a weird adult
Yeah.
version of my little safe space in.
Safe space.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Safe spaces, symbolic safe spaces. I always invite people to just slow their breath down, sit mindfully, plant your feet on the ground, on the floor, and allow some kind of image to come to your mind through your heart, through your kind of what speaks to you, and go and hang out there for 2 or 3 minutes. Because when we do that, sometimes we can't do that, but when we can do that, the chemistry in our body changes. It literally changes.
I love that.
It's a very powerful, simple
like
tool that everyone can
tricking
do.
your brain. Like this, I want to say something similar. I'm going to remember it in a minute. I'll remember. Hold on. Anyway, but yes, that's very interesting that we can kind of, I suppose you kind of, you put into response, like it's muscle memory again, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it also helps the body to calm down a little bit. Just calm down, because when you're in that state of panic and survival and wanting to flee or wanting to fight or disappear, you can't really process anything. You're not available for any of that kind of reflective growing, where you learn to kind of live with your loss, and you learn to tune into the love, and you learn to tune into what you cherish and what's meaningful to you. You can't do it when your body's in a state of rawness and visceral pain. It's impossible, because that part of our brain is shut down during those moments. So it's a trick, but it works. It works.
It's really powerful, and I love that you use the word anchor, and then 2 to 3 minutes.
That's all you need.
So, because that, for me, I've used a lot of somatic practice in my own healing journey, but also in my work. And it is these little micro moments that are so powerful, just breath by breath. Can we do it? And I just think that's so interesting as well around the safe space. You got me thinking about what my safe space is.
I know. I'm like,
safe space. Where
I
would
don't
I
know
go?
if
Forest.
my safe space is the same anymore, but
It can change.
I wonder. I don't know. I think about it.
I'm going to the forest.
You're going to the forest.
Epping
You love
Forest. I love the forest.
Epping
If
Forest.
I'm in Epping
amazing.
Forest on any day, wandering around.
That's where I live. Well, not Epping, but like I live at the bottom of Epping Forest.
No,
I keep
me
telling
too.
You're
people
giving it all away today.
Where? We're going to tell each other later, because I have just told everyone where I work, and now I'm telling people where I live.
And we just discovered we're neighbours.
And we just discovered we're neighbours, and we're going to
That's
go for coffee
amazing.
all the time. It's great.
Wow. It's always
crazy.
nature, interestingly. Most people, because I live
Yeah.
a magical place, and I love what my clients come up with. They come up with amazing
I
ideas.
love a magical place.
Oh.
I'm such a reader as well. I think that's a massive part of my. I know it sounds really silly, but like, no, it doesn't sound silly, Natasha. It's absolutely fine. Sorry, talking to myself. Fantasy escapism, very much like that's. I feel like that's very much like grief coded of me trying to like be like, I'm going to escape to a magical fairyland
Why
because
not?
I can.
The more we let magic in, the more magic happens, I think. That's how I feel.
Oh, I love that.
I love that. I feel like there's a real creativity in what you do.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I never think of myself as a creative, but thanks for saying that.
No,
That's-
it
that's
feels.
a
It
real
definitely
gift.
feels quite creative. I wonder. I'm reading that you use a 3-part framework in the Lost Prescription, which I think is your
that's my
your book,
book.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that, because
Okay.
obviously, as you said, nothing is prescribed for everyone. Everyone's going to have a little bit of each little thing, and we all kind of like take what's useful to us. But I wonder, if we could talk about that.
So the first bit is just meet your grief. Meet what your experience is, what shaped it, because lots of things will will shape it, basically. Whether you experience loss in childhood, whether you're having multiple losses. Somebody could be coping with a divorce and a miscarriage and a friend moving away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are lots and lots of different ways in which the body goes into grieving mode. So where are you with your grief? What's your grief like? And there are different types of grief. So not all grief is the same thing. Some grief is anticipatory, some is complicated, some is chronic, some is disenfranchised.
And does that affect the mind and the body in different ways?
It all affects how you're going to live through it, what your internal and material reaction is going to be. So much. There's a lot to say, really. But disenfranchised grief is when there's shame attached to the grief.
Got you.
So if somebody has died because of misadventure, or it's a different type of grief. It's really, really difficult to live with that. There's a lot of isolating and othering going on, or judging. What other types of grief? Chronic grief, delayed grief, which I've seen a lot now. People that have put grief on hold and they're like, I've just got to get on with it.
Well, COVID stuff.
Yes.
Like, I definitely feel like a lot of my friends who lost anyone in COVID
it's coming out
just
now.
didn't, like, just because it was such a weird microcosm of experience. You kind of like, oh, my gran died. Okay, well, we're still all like stressing. It's not enough time. And then now we're like in a space where like, oh, we could actually think about that for a hot second and see how that's affecting us.
And everybody, I think, is pretending that we weren't
COVID
impacted by COVID. But I think we were. I mean, my kids were, and I was, and I see it a lot in a lot of clients. So, you know, so, sorry, going back to the book. So first bit is dismantle your grief, like understand where you are with your grief and understand what your mental health picture is. So I talk about the pillars of our mental health. So what keeps us feeling in that subjective measure of well-being, which is what mental health is. Is, you know, are you feeling like you're able to cope with what life's throwing at you? Do you feel like you get to be the person you want to be? Do you feel like you make a meaningful contribution? You know, there's lots of things that actually shape how we feel mentally. So that's the first bit. See where you are. The second bit is actually work through the holistic process of, so what are you telling yourself? What's your story? How's your body dealing with it? And the bit that I really loved and wanted to write so much more in it is about the heartfelt process of using the heart's intelligence to understand where you're at and what authentically resonates with you. Because you know, death ends a life, but it doesn't end the love, does it?
No.
And our heart is, I think, our biggest compass. So that's the second bit. And the third bit is rebuilding. So going out and really rebuilding your identity, your relationship with life, with what now, with the future, and with your networks. Because I think a lot changes. I know when I've been through loss, people I thought might have supported me maybe weren't.
Agree with
reliable.
that.
And for all sorts of reasons, and people that I didn't expect were really great.
And which is really interesting. I find that quite often that is very, very true of grief, and people who on their daily can be the most supportive people, but when it comes to something that's kind of, I mean, I suppose this is the whole point. It's a bit taboo, whatever. Like where it's grief for some reason knocks people in a different way of talking, and I suppose that is our culture, and it's very embedded that we shouldn't really talk about death and the whole shebang. I mean, it's the whole point. But yeah, I wonder as well, like obviously we've talked a bit about breath and safe spaces. I've dipped my toe into somatics, but I wonder about, I've read a lot about kind of like storing trauma in places in the body and finding pain like in the body. I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that. Like I know that I saw there's this girl online, and she I think she's called the Workout Witch.
I follow her.
She's great, and she talks about trauma in the hips, especially for women, and she does a lot of like hip opening exercises, and she's like, women store a lot of trauma in their hip flexors, and I don't know, and she made a good point, because I remember there was one time in yoga where I was in child's pose for like a really long time, and I started crying, and I was like, oh my God, why am I crying? and then I saw this Workout Witch lady, and she was like, guys, it's because we're storing trauma in our hips. And I was like, makes sense.
The body does store, all of your emotions live in the body. And it's I do more work with pain than
let's talk about that.
Mainly because I suffer from a chronic pain syndrome. And if you connect pain with unmet need, unmet emotional need, it's less about where it's actually stored in the body, whether it's in your hips or in your lower back or in your neck or in your feet or whatever. It's more about learning to see that pain as a messenger. Like if your body or the part of you that's in pain is calling out, screaming out in a
ow.
But what's it actually calling you to pay attention to? What need of yours that's mainly emotional remains unmet?
Hey body, I'm listening.
Could you give an example of that? Because I feel like maybe I think maybe I don't know if I'm a very like linear think. I don't know, but for some reason I hear that a lot, and then I'm like, I don't
what does
know.
That mean?
Like I'm like, yes, I have pain in my shoulders, but I'm like, somebody tell me, because I don't know why. Like I'm looking at my you know.
I recommend Louise Hay's book if you haven't come across it. Have you seen it? Do you know Louise Hay is the founder of Hay House, who've done these loads of amazing spiritual books.
Yes, I have seen.
You Can Heal Your Life, I think is what the book's called. And I look at it often because in it she has a map, and she's not alive anymore. She's just incredible work. Somatic healing work, and she explains, you know, like if you've got chronic sore throat, what does that mean? And if you've got chronic shoulder, what does that mean? So I don't know that map because it's not what my training's been in, but I look at it a lot. I'll give an example. Shall I tell you about my example? My life?
If you'd like to, I'd love.
I'm happy to be open about it. So one of my faults, failures, I don't know, is being super independent.
Me too.
Same.
So
I refuse to let anybody help me.
That's just like, you know, I would just work myself as extensively as I can, and I won't really ask for help. Really rubbish at it, even though I spend my life telling people that it's important to lean in and get support.
We're in the same club. Same club.
You need to hang on to your friends.
Yeah, and I've got lovely friends and family. I just don't lean in. I don't know. It's just my wiring, I suppose. That's how I am. But a year and a bit ago, I had to give up my home in Greece. I'm Greek. I grew up in Athens, and that was my anchor. That was my life in England works. I love it. My kids are here. My husband's here. It's great. But my soul is Greek. I know I don't sound it, but I am.
No,
Greek.
I believe you.
No, I know. And having that home there gave me time to connect with those deep roots, with the geography of the place, which I really, really love, with my swims, with the blue sky, you know, all that. So I had that home, and that's what kept me going. It kept my balance.
Yeah, you just felt like it.
I didn't own it. I was renting it. My landlady said, I want it back now. And I lost it. And literally 3 days of and what I did is I packed my house up, and I gave all of my belongings away. Absolutely everything, because it was too expensive to bring it back to the UK. I gave it to my cleaner, who was a Filipino lady and was desperate for it, and have it. Felt quite altruistic. I felt quite good. It was quite sad watching all my belongings go. 15 years of life.
Wow.
It was weird. It was a weird experience. It was a big loss. The home, the home for my kids there, and all of my belongings. Yeah. Anyway, and 3 days after that, I had an accident, which my brain couldn't cope with, and it decided to misfire pain. And the misfiring of pain led to what we might call like a little stroke, not from blood, but from pain misfiring. And my brain decided it was going to kill my foot.
Nice.
So a little sprain and a little accident, it wasn't anything catastrophic, became a massive symbol of losing my balance and not being able to stand on my own 2 feet anymore.
Wow.
And it became so symbolic in my feet. Like, I'm still hobbling about. I'm going to have this problem forever now because I've damaged my brain my brain responded by overreacting in pain. So that's what I mean by pain. The message in my pain is learn to give yourself what anchors you. Give yourself permission to receive help, and stop trying to do everything on your own. Stop trying to be kind of, you know, high flying on your own 2 feet all the time. Get support. Does that make sense?
It does.
Makes so much sense.
It does.
So a bit of a long story,
no,
but hopefully it makes sense.
I think it's really interesting because I think that there's definitely a discussion that needs to be had constantly, I think, in grief journeys about why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And I think it reminds me of existential therapy in the sense that, like, you have to be like, okay, cool, but why? Yep, that's great. Why? Okay, why really? Because when I was 4, I once left a permission slip in my bag and my dad yelled at me and I've never recovered. It's like that kind of situation where, you know, it's why, you know, you can't ask your friends to do anything for you because you're embarrassed or whatever. Like, not that that's personal at all. Like, I don't know what that scenario was. I don't know who she is. But yeah, I think it's such an important thing. I wonder in the terms of like long-term stress, I wonder if you had any thoughts on kind of coping with pain, or
Yeah.
like in the long term, and coping with grief in the long term effects, because I think there's definitely something about the acute moment, and in the moment of grief you're crying and your chest hurts and you keep pooping and you're being sick and all of that, but then you know that subsides, and then you have the daily, but you're still stressed and you're still at this high point. I wonder if there's like any advice you have for kind of managing that kind of experience.
Yeah, some of it is notice it, and then notice how compassionate you're being to yourself. Are you just swallowing it and trying to live with it quietly, pretending you're okay when you're not? So some of it is about your own internal attitude, and also micro doses of care and compassion every day. Every day, like you go and stand by the fountain, or you know, going out in the garden with a cup of tea, or journaling. I journal every single day. Every day I start with a 5-10 minutes before I've looked at any email, done anything, to check in with myself, like where am I at today? What do I need today? What's going to anchor me today?
I love that.
That's
Journaling
it.
is such a form of therapy, isn't it? I love to hear, because it's such a massive practice, obviously, in your work and what you encourage other people to do. So tell us a little bit more about how our journal can almost be that therapeutic.
I think it's, it's very therapeutic. It's sort of like a process of you meet yourself. A little bit like in therapy, when you're talking, you sort of say one thing, you don't really know why you're thinking it or feeling it, and then on reflection you discover. It's the same with journaling. Like, what's it really about? What's it really showing me? How am I really feeling? And if you verbalize it, you bear witness to it.
Yes.
And in bearing witness to it, you can take some action. You feel like you have a little bit of agency. You can do something, whatever that is, whether it's talking it out with someone, whether it's giving yourself a day off, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I love that.
So there are lots of things, and some of it is just about creating pockets of joy and pockets of sorrow, and that's okay, because grief is lifelong, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And that permission to meet yourself exactly where you are.
Yeah.
With that, I always think about the journals, and I'm like, if I die, I feel like I need to leave a message with my husband to be like, these are the ones you burn.
And these are the ones we keep.
No one can read it. But I think it's really important, and because we numb so much, don't we?
Yeah, totally.
In our grief. And actually, when you mentioned about compassion, what it really got me thinking about, because I am definitely a chronic stress person. It's why I left corporate, was realising actually I had hypothyroid, and that shone a mirror of, oh, what am I doing and what am I not saying? But actually, when we numb and avoid, which I did for death and grief for the majority of my life until I couldn't run from it. But there's a purpose to that, isn't there? So I'm really curious as well around that compassionate lens that we can give to ourselves when we are those, I guess, chronic numbers and avoiders.
I think it's about recognizing when you do it too much. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes we have to compartmentalize, and sometimes we do need to numb ourselves to get on with whatever we need to get on with.
Yeah.
But if we do that chronically, what are we exiling in ourselves? What are we pushing away and pushing down and silencing and othering and isolating? And what would that part of us say if it could jump out of our body and speak to us?
Well, on that note,
Dr.
Chloe, thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Is there anywhere you'd like us to find you online?
You can find me on my website, dr-chloe.com, or on my Instagram.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No,
thank you.
We've had
I
such
love
an
what you're
interesting
doing.
chat. Thank you.
Love it. So good.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Well, I really appreciate that. Well, Tanya, what a lovely show.
Tash,
How are you
what a
feeling?
lovely show. I'm feeling all of the vibes from
Chloe is
Chloe.
great.
Wow.
What queen.
Yeah, what just energy, wisdom, and also just really grounded as well. Those little anchors.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Safe space.
Safe space. Epping Forest.
Epping Forest.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I love a bit of Epping Forest. I always go to Epping Forest. Well, I don't go to the bit. I'm not going to tell everyone where I'm going. I need to shut up.
You're giving all of these different parts away.
Like, this is where I'll be at 5 o'clock later. Like 5 o'clock? It's 6 o'clock. Goodness. What have you got on for the rest of your week?
I'm going to be going to the safe space in Epping Forest.
You're going to be like,
yeah, I think there's a
Scar's
tree.
bathing.
I literally did the tree hugging thing. I hugged
yeah.
the tree today.
Well, it was raining the other day, and I love to go for a walk in the rain. And I went for a walk in the rain in my fancy raincoat, and I went and hugged a tree. And there's also a swing up on the tree at the moment that someone's put up there, and I had a grand old time.
Trying to work out if I know that
it.
tree. I'm like, do I know that tree? We went for a walk in the rain yesterday after seeing our baby girl, and in that bit where it just, the heavens, and I was in shorts and a t-shirt. I was that person.
Yeah. Did you get chilly?
Oh my God, I was so cold.
Yeah, so
didn't get the autumn memo. I was like, just feeling like such an idiot. Like, what am I doing here? But again, I think from what Chloe shared, it's grief, hey?
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on.
No.
I'm just got out of bed, went to see our baby girl, and then just got completely soaked. That's okay.
And it's all just wild, really. I honestly think the body is so I think the body's so complex, like nobody else knows that. The body is so complex. And I think it's crazy that we don't do more. I mean, there is obviously research, but there's in day-to-day experience. I read this book called Recovery. And it was about convalescence and how back in the day, in the 1700s, when you got sick, you were sent to Italy for 2 weeks and told to take the sea air.
Yes.
And now, because we have a unfortunately failing National Health Service and we have no time and everyone's trying to work as much as they can just to exist, we're all like chronically ill. And I think I wonder if there's like an argument for kind of taking that for yourself these days instead of kind of being forced to kind of go away to Auntie Linda's in the country and, live in the apple orchards for a bit and get some fresh air.
You got to make it happen for yourself.
Yeah, we kind of do. And I suppose, we get, how many weeks a year do we get holiday? It depends who you ask, really, and what you're doing. But
yeah. And also when you're sick, if I think about all of my 14 years in corporate, I think I only ever took about 1 day off a year for sickness. But you just go in and probably infect everybody in the office.
You're probably like, I'm fine. I'll just keep going. No one wants me to be sick. I just keep going.
Yeah, and but it's terrible. And we don't listen to our body. As Chloe shared, we need to.
I think it piles up as well. And then you end up with more issues.
Yeah, especially if you're grieving.
Oh, yeah. And that in itself is, you need to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, all of those symptoms that Chloe shared, I think. I was just thinking, we could play bingo.
I was like,
yeah. That had that.
For sure. Tanya, thank you so much for coming on today.
Tash, it's been a joy.
I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think you're an angel. Do you want to tell the people where we can find you?
Oh, yes.
Because we have fellow podcaster, Tanya, also has a podcast. So if you want to double down on your death podcasts.
I love that. So obviously, big fan of this show.
Thank you.
And everything that you're doing is incredible. So I've got a podcast called Death on the Daily, which is much like you. How can we have conversations about death, about grief? Let's just talk about it. But also on my YouTube channel, we do grief rituals and other stuff that gets quite practical. So that is me in a griefy nutshell.
We have some practical magic. I think, everyone, it's the 2nd of September. People should be blowing cinnamon through their doors for abundance. And yes, wrangle the pumpkin spice lattes. Have a very jolly one. Tanya, thank you so much.
Oh, Tash,
and we will be back next week with Becky. God bless. Love you. Bye.